Hey there, Razorback Nation. I'm going to start off today's video by letting you know that linebacker Bumper Pool has made his final decision to return to the University of Arkansas.
It's a celebration. Celebrate good times. Come on. Celebrate.
Now that we've gotten that out of the way, I want to direct you to something else. You see Bumper Pool behind me? Looks like he's pointing at something, right? Do you know what he's pointing at? He's pointing at a particular group of Razorback fans, and he's asking them firmly, but politely, stop with all the gossip, and stop accepting gossip as the truth and just running with it. Which is kind of a segue into my other main topic for this video, which is the recent departures of Joe Fouché and Greg Brooks Jr., and, you guessed it, the gossip and rumors surrounding it. Now, I don't know where some of this crap started, and I'm not trying to call anybody out, but over the last 24 hours, Razorback fans were saying anything from Sam Carter, Arkansas's defensive back coach, was abusing his players, to the program's falling apart, and even KJ Jefferson was about to transfer out to Ole Miss. Now, I get the news of Fouché and Brooks leaving was pretty shocking to most, but to assume that Coach Pittman would allow a coach to remain on the staff that is abusing players so severely that they feel they need to leave the program is just ridiculous. I mean, sometimes we just got to stop and take a deep breath and look to use some common sense. And before I make my next point, let me first preference it by saying yes, the departures of Joe and Greg are losses. They provided quality depth for this football team. But let's also consider the fact that as good as they were not full-time starters. And there were younger guys on this roster that were already pushing them for more playing time. The reason Joe and Greg seen as much playing time as they did is because of the way that our defensive coaching staff utilized the roster. Make no mistake, the projected starting safeties next season are Jalen Catalon and Miles Slusher. And there was already games this season that true freshman Jaden Johnson started at the nickel over Brooks. I'm not going to sit here and wrongfully speculate that they left because they didn't want to compete for their jobs or for more playing time. But when you look at some of these other players on the roster that could very arguably warrant more PT, and then you factor in that Arkansas is still likely to add more players of their own out of the transfer portal, then you consider maybe they just seen the writing on the wall. Maybe they came to the realization that if they want to use the limited amount of time they have left to fully showcase what they as individuals are capable of, they needed to look elsewhere to do so. Malik Hornsby also entered the transfer portal today, and that's no surprise. He's a talented player, and in this new age of college football, they're not waiting on their time to come. They're going somewhere where they believe they can fast forward and make their time now. It doesn't mean the coaches are doing anything wrong, and it doesn't mean the program's falling apart. As I like to say, it just is what it is. Well, that's all